Good morning from Norrköping in the east of Sweden. Yesterday we explored the city, the industrial area here. So today we're going to go on a short drive to the neighbouring city of Linköping. And then later in the day we'll head to Söderköping, a small town on the canal. So it's going to be a sunny day, so I think I need to go and put the sun cream on and then we'll get going. Here we are, we've arrived in Linköping. The city is known for its medieval history, student life, and also home of the Swedish aviation industry. And then in front of us here is St. Lars's Church, dating back to the medieval period, the 12th century. Now we're heading in the direction of the cathedral, and you can see the cathedral tower towering above the buildings in front of us. This looks like the main city square here. So this is Linköping Cathedral, one of the biggest and tallest cathedrals in Sweden. Dates back to the 13th century. And it's a Sunday morning, so you can hear the church service ongoing, the singing and music. It's quite a big cathedral considering the city has population of 100,000. This is Linköping Castle, dating back to the 12th century when it was a bishop's fortress, and then it became a royal castle in the 15th century. And it's just a stone's throw away from the cathedral. Here's the garden to the castle. It's fenced off so we can't go in there, but we can have a peek over the fence and have a look. There's a small pond in here as well. This park is just behind the cathedral and castle. It's really nice and calm on this Sunday morning. There's hardly anyone here. We have the sun shining. A few different old style buildings here. And then the cathedral towering above. Going to head back into the city area now, down towards the river. In front of me here we have Boss's Glass Bar. It's a famous ice cream shop here in Linköping. Been serving ice cream since 1979. Apparently on a summer's day there's often big queues outside. Couldn't resist trying one. Not always you get to walk on the red carpet. Lots of shops in this area. It's quite busy, even on a Sunday. There's the church where we started our walk in Linköping this morning. The river's going to be just a few blocks down here. We found the river here, and the river is part of the Göta Canal system, which historically was important for linking many of the towns in the area, important for trade. Here we have a map showing the river going through Linköping, and then on the other side we can see the river and the canal system, and it comes out into Lake Roxen just north of Linköping. Looks like it's also possible to do some tours on the river, and then a bit further down I can see a restaurant with some tables on the riverside. Doesn't look like the restaurant is open today though. Maybe it's just a seasonal summer place. So this is Linköping harbour, where 100 years ago, say, there would have been a lot of barges coming with fish, timber and other goods. Lots of trade happening. But today it's calm, just a nice place to go for a walk. Going to cross the river now to the other side and see what's there. We get a nice view of the river from up here. On the left there's a cafe and then some pedal boats you can hire, some kayaks as well, and then the restaurant over there on the right. So we're down by the cafe now. There's this sandy beach and also some mini golf you can play there. There's an old looking ship moored up on the side down there. Let's go and get a closer look at that. It says on the side that it's a restaurant and bar, and the ship is from 1902. Now we're going to head back to the car and drive 10 minutes and then go 100 years back in time at the old Linköping museum area. So we've arrived in Gamla Linköping. It's an open-air museum showing what life was like 100 years ago in Sweden. Lots of old buildings. We're going to have a wander around. So an interesting fact about Gamla Linköping is that in the 1950s and 60s, when the city was being redeveloped into a more modern city, some of the old buildings were moved here to preserve them and provide a museum for the future generations. The city square with a cafe and bank and bookshop as well. This must have been what it felt like walking through a Swedish city 100 years ago. And here the museum just kind of disappears into the forest. I think I read that there are actually people that do live in some of these buildings, so it's literally a living museum. Some farm animals over here. Looks like there's some goats sat and relaxing. There's also another section of the museum just along this path here. It's about 500 meters down there. Some, I think, farming, museum and other bits. But we don't really have time. The shops here will close in half an hour, and then we want to make sure we get a fridge magnet. I think that's all we have time for in Gamla Linköping. Been here about an hour and a half, but honestly I think you could spend the whole day here. There's a lot to see. So let's go back to the car and continue on to our final place to visit today, which will be Söderköping. Welcome to Söderköping. We just arrived here and we're stood on the side of the Göta Canal. The town is a medieval town, one of Sweden's most charming towns, with cobbled streets, colourful houses and of course the canal. Perfect for a sunny day like today. So let's go for a wander around and see what's here. The Göta Canal is 190 kilometers long, and it forms a series of waterways that connects Stockholm in the east of Sweden and Gothenburg in the west of Sweden. We can see here diagrams showing the Göta Canal. So we're here in Söderköping. This is where we've been yesterday, Norrköping, and then the canal comes along and Linköping's just down there, and the canal will come to this big lake here. No shortage of ice cream places here. Seen probably 5 different ice cream kiosks already. It's possible to take a canal tour on these boats. And the canal offers a popular walking and cycling route. You can cycle along the whole canal pretty much, as I understand. We'll make a very nice cycle ride, mostly flat, with just some up and down at the locks. We'll come away from the canal for a bit and search for those cobbled streets and colourful buildings. Not just the canal here, there's also a small river, and I see someone fishing down there, so I guess that means there's some fish in this river. Hard to imagine that in the winter the river would look like this, with all the ice. Here's one of the cobbled streets with the colourful buildings either side. Now we're coming into Hagatorget, one of the main town squares. A local history museum here. 6 PM in the evening on Sunday now, so it's closed. This is a very cozy street. I was thinking when I read that there was lots of colourful buildings here, the colours would be a bit more stronger maybe. Like the buildings are all different colours, but it's kind of very, very calm colours. Back at the square we were at a bit before with the statue in the middle. Here's another one of these street cabinets where they've covered with some pictures. It's cool to see. I was reading online about one of the ice cream shops here. It's particularly famous. People travel from long distance to come and get an ice cream in the sunny weather. They have a very big selection of ice cream here. And seeing as the ice cream is so famous and popular, I couldn't resist testing it for myself. I got a cookie dough one. Another ice cream shop there, but I don't think I will be getting another one, not today at least. Wonder if this is a model of the church we saw earlier. There's a few restaurants along here as well. Very quiet on this time on a Sunday evening. It's nearly 7 PM. Sure, it's very different on a Friday or Saturday. Then you can go further up the canal down here, but I think we're gonna head back into the town area. It's a nice map here showing the town. So you got the canal along the top here, and the small river, and then all the small streets here. Here's another one of these. Picture of the canal. Some very cozy looking houses along here. And this brings us out onto another small square. Very quiet here now. Maybe we're the last tourists here. An old telephone box. Now it's become a sound booth. I think that's all we have time for today. Gonna go back to the car now and then head back to Norrköping where we're staying. Been a really nice day. Linköping and Gamla Linköping was both really nice places to visit, and here in Söderköping was a nice way to end the day. In hindsight, I'd probably allowed a lot more time in Gamla Linköping in particular. We maybe packed a bit too much into one day, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll come back here in the future. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you have, please give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.